What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Tuesday, July 4th. Happy 4th of July, everyone! These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. What's up, guys? Happy 4th of July. We have a 5-game MLB slate tonight, and we did whiff on our batters last night. Pitcher hit, but our bats were no good, so we're looking for a big bounce back night here tonight for 4th of July. So let's get into it. At the pitcher position, I like Chris Bassitt. He's got a massive pitching advantage here over a low salary batting team, the Chicago White Sox. So Chris Bassitt, he's only giving up a .443 OPS versus righties. He's facing 6 righties here tonight. The White Sox have hit 15 of his last 56 pitches. That's a .250 batting average. So Chris Bassitt is $9,600 FanDuel salary, $1,100 less on DraftKings, averaging 31 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 4.06. Record is 8-5, pitching an average of 93 pitches per game. So I like Chris Bassitt here versus the Chicago White Sox. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. Got a value play for you here. Take a look at Jake Rogers. He has a 40% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, JP Sears. Jake Rogers batting 45% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.102 OPS versus lefties. JP Sears giving up a .677 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Sears yet. Jake Rogers is $2,600 FanDuel salary, $1,700 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. And he's been on fire, scoring 25, 6, and 18 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has a batting average of .203. So I like Jake Rogers here versus JP Sears. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Another value play. I like Andy Ibanez, and he's got a 23% batting advantage over JP Sears. So Andy Ibanez, he's batting 28% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .845 OPS versus lefties. JP Sears giving up a .677 OPS versus righties. So there's no at-bats versus Sears yet. Andy Ibanez is only $2,500 FanDuel salary, $900 more on DraftKings, averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season. And he has a batting average of .237, but he's been on fire, scoring fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He's been averaging 5 at-bats for the last 2 games, so that's encouraging. He's getting those at-bats. So I like Andy Ibanez here versus JP Sears. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. So I like Max Muncy. He has a 69% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Luis Ortiz. Max Muncy batting 25% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .763 OPS versus righties. Luis Ortiz pitching his worst ball by far to lefty batters, 44% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.068 OPS versus lefties. So there's no at-bats versus Ortiz yet. And Max Muncy is $3,400 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. 2 of those were over 20 fantasy points. Now, he only has a batting average of 195, but I like the splits. And I think the price tag is pretty decent. He is averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, despite the low batting average. So I like Max Muncy here versus Luis Ortiz. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So I've given you a lot of value on the slate, and although I don't love the splits here, I do think he's in a good spot with only a 5-game slate. Not a ton of shortstops to pick from here. But if you're looking to save some salary on what I think is a stud pick here tonight, take a look at Bo Bichette. He's batting against Lucas Giolito. So Bo Bichette batting a .784 OPS versus righties. Lucas Giolito giving up a .680 OPS versus righties. But I like this pick because Bo Bichette is 3 for 8 here versus Giolito with a 1.319 OPS. He's got a home run, a double, and a single. So he's $3,500 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He's scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and he has a batting average of .317. So I like Bo Bichette here versus Lucas Giolito. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. Another value play. I like Jason Hayward. He's got a 120% batting advantage over the low salary pitcher Luis Ortiz. Jason Hayward batting 75% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .813 OPS versus righties. Luis Ortiz, he's giving up a 1.068 OPS versus lefties. So he pitches his worst ball versus lefty batters by a pretty big margin here, 44% worse than his other pitches. So there's no at-bats versus Ortiz yet. Jason Hayward, only $2,400 FanDuel salary, $600 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. So I like Jason Hayward here versus Luis Ortiz. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.